There's a certain kind of Jupiter video you've probably already seen. The one where someone drives you past the biggest gates on the island and says, "This is where the wealthy people live." It's fun to watch, but if you're actually trying to buy here, it doesn't help you at all. The real question was never where the money is. It's where you fit. So let's do this the honest way. Hi, I'm Amanda Sweetz, and I'm a realtor here in Jupiter. And before real estate, I spent about a decade as a paralegal. That matters more than it sounds, because the part of buying a home that trips people up isn't the pretty kitchen, it's the fine print, the HOA rules, the CDD line on your tax bill, the club membership you didn't know was mandatory. Reading documents carefully is kind of my whole background. So today, instead of a tour, I want to give you a decision. There are really 3 ways to live in Jupiter: on the water, on the golf course, or in a family neighborhood. Each one comes with a different lifestyle, a different price range, and a different set of costs nobody put in the listing. Let's walk through all of these 3 honestly, so you can figure out which one is actually yours. Let's start on the water, because for a lot of people, that's the whole reason they're looking at Jupiter in the first place. What makes this area special for boaters is ocean access. The Jupiter Inlet gives you a real path out to the Atlantic, and certain communities put deep water and dockage right behind the house. If dockage is the priority, the names you'll hear are places like Jupiter Inlet Colony out on the barrier island, Admiral's Cove, which has its own marina, and downtown options like Jupiter Yacht Club, if you'd rather have a condo with a slip than a single family home. Now, here's the part the tour videos skip. Waterfront living has costs beyond the purchase price: dock maintenance, higher insurance because you're on or near the water, and in some communities, marina or HOA fees tied to the slip itself. None of that is a reason not to do it. It's just the honest math, and it's exactly the kind of thing I'd sit down and walk you through line by line before you fall in love with the dock. As a very rough starting point, waterfront with dockage in Jupiter tends to start in the millions, but that swings hard with deep water and ocean access. So treat it as a conversation starter, not a quote. The second way to live in Jupiter is around golf, and I mean the full country club lifestyle, not just a course near your house. This is the tier with names like Admiral's Cove, the Bears Club, Jupiter Country Club, and Trump National Jupiter. The appeal is obvious: golf, clubhouse, dining, tennis, pickleball, a built-in social calendar. But this is exactly where my paralegal side starts twitching, because country club communities come with commitments that aren't in the pretty photos. A lot of these require a club membership to buy in, sometimes an equity membership that runs into real money on top of the home price. There are usually annual dues and often a food and beverage minimum that you're required to spend whether you show up or not. I'm not saying that to scare you off. For the right buyer, that's the lifestyle that's worth every dollar. I'm saying it because I've read enough of these membership documents to know the number on the listing is rarely the number you actually spend. That's a conversation I want to have with you before you write an offer, not after. Homes in this tier generally start around $1 million and climb well into luxury territory. Quick note, A couple of the marquee golf communities people mention are just over the line in Palm Beach Gardens, which is a whole comparison of its own. Hold that thought. The third way to live in Jupiter is in a family-oriented neighborhood. And this is where a lot of relocating buyers actually land, because it's the sweet spot for value and everyday livability. The neighborhood people bring up most is Abacoa. It's built around a walkable town center, so you've got restaurants, a ballpark, and green space you can walk to instead of drive to. If you want more room and a quieter, more rural feel, Jupiter Farms gives you the larger lots for the money. And there are established communities like Rialto, Paseos, and Egret Landing in between. On the practical side, Jupiter's public schools are generally well regarded, and school ratings are public information that you can look up for any specific address. I always point buyers to the official district and rating sources rather than relying on reputation. That way you're choosing on facts, not on word of mouth. Here's a cost detail that catches people off guard: the CDD. Some of these communities, Abacoa included, have a community development district charge that shows up as a separate line on your annual tax bill, on top of the HOA. It's not a hidden fee, it's public record, but you'd be amazed how many buyers don't find out until closing. Reading that line correctly is exactly the kind of thing I check up front for you. Price-wise, family neighborhoods in Jupiter cover a wide range, which is part of why they work for so many different budgets. So, boating, golf, or family, here's the honest way to choose, and it has almost nothing to do with your budget. It comes down to how you actually want to spend a Saturday. If it's on the water with the boat, you already know who you are. If it's the clubhouse and the course, that's a different neighborhood entirely. And if it's walking to the town center with the kids or the dog, that's a third. Figure out the Saturday, and the neighborhood mostly picks itself. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but should I even be in Jupiter, or should I be looking at Palm Beach Gardens? That's a great question, and it's the exact video I'm making next. I work both markets, so I can give you the honest side-by-side. If this helped you narrow things down, subscribe to my channel, and do me a favor, drop a comment telling me which of the three is you: boater, golfer, or family. I read everyone. And if you're relocating to this area and want to actually walk through the numbers for your situation, the link to book a consultation is in the description. I'm Amanda Sweetz, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, your next chapter is your best.